Yes. Yeah. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the JCA Sports Podcast here on Facebook and YouTube. Make sure you follow us on all our YouTube channels, all our social media platforms, Facebook, YouTube, and on TikTok too, as well, as we will eventually have our shows live there too, as well. Thank you guys for joining. As you can see, I am solo dolo today, but that's okay. That's fine. It's cool. The guys will be on the comment section. Um, I got the show ready to go, and I want you guys to join us too on this journey, on this show, the JCA Sports Podcast. Here, Eric Avila, Jose Contreras, and Jonathan Plata cannot be here, but it's all right. They'll be coming soon. So make sure you guys join us. And honestly, there is nothing else to talk about other than our beloved Chicago Bears. Yesterday they lost 21-16 to the Indianapolis Colts. And look who, and speaking of which, speaking of the devil, Jose Contreras on the comment section. Hey, what's up, man? Glad you're on the comment section, but we do got a lot to talk about. It's a big deal, right? I think everybody's going everybody's going a little haywire about this because everybody has mixed emotions, or they just really have one emotion. And I am the only one that feels this way about the Chicago Bears at the moment. To be completely honest with you guys, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Yesterday, I think was the first time that I actually watched a Chicago Bears game with no emotion whatsoever. And I'm not saying that like as a bad thing. I'm not saying that as in one of those reasons to where it's like, oh, I don't care about the Chicago Bears. No. I had prior how should I say? I missed the first quarter of the Chicago Bears versus the Colts game because I was watching my beloved Arsenal game. Um, and I didn't watch the whole first quarter. And honestly, I think I missed like the first 2-3 minutes of the second quarter too as well. So I was emotionally detached from the Chicago Bears and the Colts game because there was a lot going on between my soccer club. But so I actually looked at the Bears Colts game with the newer type of emotion of actually just like focusing on the game and not having my emotions attached to it. Again, not because of the Bears in itself, just because my sports emotion was already gone and drained from the Arsenal Man City game. So it was actually a different feeling for sure because I actually felt like I was actually watching the Bears kind of like in a non-biased type of way. And let me tell you why. Now we could all talk about the negative, right? Which we're all going to get to in a little bit, right? Let me talk about the positive first. The positive is that the Chicago Bears actually have a quarterback that can actually throw the football, right? And everybody here on the comment already on the comments, thank you. What up, Deontay? My boy, Uncle Day Day in the building. My boy Juice, what's up, bro? I agree. Let's go right here, my boy. Let's go with Uncle Day Day. I miss you, man. I hope you're doing well. Welcome back to the show, man. I miss you. He said, I'm not surprised they're 1-2 after the way Carolina and LA look. Don't be shocked if they lose one, if not both those games. That's a good one right there. I don't know about that. They could get one, but if Andy Dalton's the quarterback of the Carolina Panthers, I can actually see that game where the Bears might have a tough time. The Jose goes, because if they have you with no emotions, then that says already that you have mindset that this team and this season is done. No, completely wrong. Again, my sports emotion was already drained and gone from the Arsenal Man City game. That's the only reason why I was like this, that game had so much. The magnitude of that game was just too much for me to have and to do, and so on and so forth. So that's the only reason why my sports emotion was out of it. But you know what? I can say this: if I can have a lot of those Arsenal games before Bears games, and like seeing it in this play, in this site, in this view, it was actually a beautiful thing. Because again, let me go to the positive sides about this, right? Now, Caleb Williams has a rookie record of passing yards in a single game for the Chicago Bears, going for 363 yards, right? No. Like deep down, you knew. Not really. No, not really. I promise you that's how I felt. I promise you that's literally how I felt. It wasn't because, like I said, I missed the whole first quarter and like 5 minutes of the second quarter. So again, that if only you guys knew. That's all I got to say. But the positives, Caleb Williams threw for a rookie record 363 yards, right? He also threw 2 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. Okay. Roma Dunze, another rookie, 6 catches for 112 yards and he got his first career touchdown along with Caleb Williams. That little celebration was okay. I get it. I understand that was already planned out. But when you're losing in the game, I don't think you celebrate in that moment. Maybe a little later, but that's another conversation for another day. I'll tell you that much for right now. I love the way how they introduced the tight end that was missing literally the first two games. They were missing that. Not in putting Cole Kmet in any situation in any of the offensive playbook for the first two games actually did Caleb Williams a disservice. And you can see the tight end is always the quarterback's best friend because they're closer to the line than the other two wide receivers on there. So for Cole Kmet to go for 10 for 97 and a touchdown says a lot. That says a lot right there about the Chicago Bears. I would say this, though. There's a lot of negativity going around the Chicago Bears, right? But I view this more as a positive than I do it a negative, simply because the Chicago Bears finally have a quarterback that can actually is a throw first quarterback. And I know we've said this for a very long time. And I know we said this coming up this upcoming season, that Caleb Williams is a different type of quarterback. And you saw that, right? Now, I don't like the fact that he threw for 52 times. That's something that needs to, it has to be a balanced out. But at the same time, when the running game is not there, and you guys know, if you guys follow the JCA Sports Podcast on all our social media platforms and our following shows too as well, I told you guys, and I let you guys know how I felt about DeAndre Swift being the Bears free agent. Their first free agent signing, by the way. That was the first free agent signing, and I didn't like that. I wasn't a fan of that. Now, call me a hypocrite all you want because of my fantasy football. I actually have them in 2 of my 5 teams, 4 teams, whatever teams. But that's because a running back is best available. I needed a running back, okay? But it also says a lot that I also drafted Roschon Johnson, which, by the way, Roschon had a better yards per carry. He had 8 carries for 30 yards. He had 10 yards more and half of the carries that DeAndre Swift had. So it goes to show you that DeAndre Swift isn't really needed on this football team. He wasn't even needed before. I've always said to you guys, if there was a running back that the Chicago Bears should have gone for, was Saquon Barkley. Pay the money, pay up the wazoo for Saquon Barkley for all I care. Get him on the team, and that was a difference maker. Okay? DeAndre Swift doesn't do anything for me. I don't care what anybody says. That was just a waste of money. That was just a waste of money in my books. But the fact of the matter is that he had 24 carries. I have it right here. 13 carries for 20 yards. That's literally like 1 point something yards per carry. That's not good for a running back. Now, mind you, let's rewind it and get to the bigger issue here, and that is the Chicago Bears offensive line. Bro, that's bad. And look, it's a broken record, bro. It's like a Mexican party at a quinceañera or a wedding, and we're playing the Caballo Dorado. I mean, that's how I see it. It's the same song and dance. That's the best reference I could put it in. Or Suavemente. Those are the two. That's the comparison I got about the Chicago Bears and the offensive line, because we've been talking about the offensive line in the Chicago Bears for years. This is already going on 2 decades, if that, before when the Bears went to the Super Bowl in 2007. For years, we talked about the Chicago Bears and the offensive line, how bad it really is. And to be quite frankly, to be completely honest with you guys, we know it's a problem, but for it not to be solved, for it not to be mentioned, for it not to be a focal point in any of the off seasons, in any of the drafts. Yes, we had Gabe Carimi, who was a bust. We had Darnell Wright last year. And we've gotten linemen here and there that, James Daniels that worked out here and there. We had Larry Borum that worked here and there, And that's right. I'm right with CP right here. CP, welcome to the show, man. What's up, man? That Swift money could have been used on the O-line somewhere. 100%, 110%. And I agree with that. That's why, to me, that if there was a running back out there that anybody or that the Bears should have gotten was Saquon Barkley, and I would have been okay. Hell, yesterday Saquon Barkley won the game for the Philadelphia Eagles. Guys, the link is on the comments if you guys want to join. If you guys want to join the show, I'll put it on my Facebook page right now in a bit for you guys to join too as well. So it's mind-boggling that we're still having this conversation in 2024 when we've been having this conversation since 2008. Let me go back to the comments real quick. Of course, he has a record. He damn threw for 60 times. I mean, yeah. But again, it's something that we've all wanted. It's something that I've been telling you guys for the past month and a half, ever since we started doing the show, that this is what the Bears needed in the first place. This is what the Bears should have gotten: a quarterback that throws first, and the quarterback. I told you guys that the one record that the Bears quarterback should worry about was the own Bears record, and you guys were telling me that's a low bar. When I'm telling you guys that that should be the only bar to be existed in this conversation, because comparing to all the other NFL quarterbacks, rookie quarterbacks in this league, it's too much. We're not even ready for this conversation. Hell, we're not even ready for the conversation to have what's a good O line and what isn't a good O line. Okay, and that's the thing that I'm trying to tell you guys. Don't matter how low that bar is, that bar has to be set, because we need to worry about the Chicago Bears and the Chicago Bears first. Caleb Williams throwing for 363 yards means it shows a lot, but also, which is going to my second thought that I'm going to talk about it in a little bit, shows that this team has offensively found its new identity, but yet still has to fix the biggest problem, and that's the offensive line. Jose said Fields can never, though. No coach would have him throw that much. I mean, Fields barely threw for more than 30, 40 pass attempts since he was here. Let's just put it like this. Fields and Caleb already have the same amount of 300 plus yards, in a Bears uniform. Have the same amount, and that's one. All right. You guys can say whatever you guys want about Justin Fields. You guys can have your own feelings about Justin Fields. That's fine. That's great. We all have our own personal feelings about Justin Fields. Like I'm going on record, I like Justin Fields. At first, I was with Justin Fields saying I saw the brighter picture on the other side, and it makes more sense. It does make more sense for Caleb, and you can see why. Pass first quarterback, and that's what we need. He plays the position already better than Justin Fields when he was here as a quarterback, as a passer. Let's be mindful, guys. Let's think about the big picture here. CP goes saying, watching James Daniels right now, and it's just so sad how much better ran these other organizations are than us. And that's 100%. And then which leads that to my second topic, man. God, the one thing that was frustrating that took me out of this game, and it wasn't even the offensive line that was frustrating for me, guys. I'm gonna tell you that right now. The offensive line to me is not the frustrating part. It's a work in progress, just like the offense is a work in progress. But geez, guys, come on now. Let's be completely honest with you. I'm being real serious right now at this moment when I'm talking about Matt Eberflus at this time and place right now at 8:20 p.m. on Monday, September 23rd. To me, Matt Eberflus, if his seat is not warm, it better start getting warm, guys, because I thought we were done seeing Bears take stupid timeouts. Timeouts after a touchdown, timeouts after a first down, timeouts coming out of the break after the team across you took a timeout. I think I've never, ever I've seen the Chicago Bears taking a timeout after a touchdown, and the coaches can't even get it together where if they want to go for a field goal or go for 2 points. Now, yesterday I was watching the game with my wonderful and beautiful girlfriend, Laura Contreras. Free plug. And she was telling me that the Bears should go for 2 simply because all they needed was a field goal to tie the game, which I was like, okay, I argued back and forth with her, but it wasn't fully registered in my head. I'm like, oh, look, they're doing what you just said, right? The fact that they have to call a timeout after scoring a touchdown is mind-boggling to me, guys, and then yet do nothing with it. You know what I mean? And then you saw the replay of Matt Eberflus putting up 2. I forgot who it was. I think it was a special team coach putting up the number 1. Like, that to me right there was an indication that Matt Eberflus, as much as everybody plays for Flubes, for whatever you want to call him, Matt, as much as the Bears and the players are so much into his, we're down to play for Matt Eberflus, yada, 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 this, and that. At the end of the day, it's kind of like he has so much on his plate. I know he wants to call the games. I know he wants to call the defense. I know he wants to do this and he wants to do that. He wants to take full control. But sometimes, if not, it just looked like it's just too overwhelming for him. Like, he can't do it. He has to do one or the other. And since he's the head coach, he has to let go of the damn play calling because he has no control whatsoever on what's going on with the team. He has no control whatsoever on what the team should do next off. Whether him and Shane Waldron go, hey, you should go for a run pass, or you should go for a running game, or a running play here, or a pass here, or play whatever the communication between head coach and offensive coordinator is, and head coach and defensive coordinator is. Like, I need my head coach to be focused on the game and when to throw challenges, because last week the challenges that he threw pissed me off. All right, he lost 2 challenges that, in my eyes, when you see it in real time, there was no need. This week, he can't even have a full control of when to call a timeout, or when to go for a field goal, or when to go for 2. Now, going for 2, great, makes sense, right? But the fact that you had to burn a fucking timeout for a play that didn't even work, and then later your second timeout you had to burn it because you didn't even know what play to run on a 4th and goal play from the one that you end up losing 11 yards to it. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this is a coaching staff that doesn't know what the fuck they're doing. And yes, we've blamed almost everything under the sun, under the roof, under whatever you want to use. We blamed everything for the Chicago Bears and the organization. But again, this coaching staff doesn't even know what to do. And this is the reason why, if you're going to let everybody go, you let everybody go in the offseason. If you're going to let Luke Getsy go or whatever, Luke Getsy, if you're going to let him go, you let go of Matt Eberflus. It does not matter. It does not matter that the players played hard for him. That should be a fucking given, ladies and gentlemen. That should already be the first thing you're supposed to do as a head coach, that you have control of the locker room. Playing hard for you should be already a necessity, should already be guaranteed. You as a head coach should know when to challenge. You as a head coach should know when to call a timeout. You as a head coach should be more focused on everything that's going on in the game instead of worrying about calling your defensive plays and not knowing what the hell to do on the offensive side of the ball. Like that's even though he has nothing to do with the offensive side of the ball. And I get that. But I know there's somehow, some way, some type of fucking communication between the head coach and the offensive coordinator. Hell, there was a commercial or something, a show or whatever the case may be, when Kyle Shanahan, the head coach of the 49ers, was the offensive coordinator for the Browns, and the head coach at the time, I can't even think of him, was saying, you should do this. The OC said, nah, we're doing this because of this. Okay, you're the OC. I trust you. That's the type of communication that you should see on a game in and game out basis on every single fucking play. But we're calling timeouts after we scoring a touchdown, guys. That's a new low. To me, that's a new fucking low. All right. I think I already read this. Yep. All right. CP. Jose says, but the running game ain't there because the play calling is trash. Combine that with the online being ass. They should have used Roshan more, and Swift could be value as a pass catcher. You know what? Catcher. Jeez, what the hell is wrong with me? I can't even speak today. Look, Jose, I get that. And the offensive line, to be honest, if there's no put, but it's funny because that same offensive line that Roshan had was the same almost offensive line that Swift had. Minus that 4th and goal play. Swift, I don't blame Swift whatsoever on that. You had, out of the 5 linemen, 4 of them were already on the ground laying down on their asses. And Swift had nothing, absolutely nothing to do about that, bro. So that's out of all the running plays that Swift had, that's the only one I don't blame him. Everything else afterwards, he's not that guy. He's not that running. I'm tired of these draws, these draws that the players are not having, that Waldron has, where the running back is on the side. Hell, mind you, let's talk about that same play where he had to go 11 yards back. Why is he starting right next to the quarterback, but yet to get 1 yard, he drops back another 5, 6, 7 yards to get a handoff just to go 1 yard? Make that make sense. I've said last week that the Bears should run the ball a little bit more. Granted, I get that. And you know what? They went 3 straight running plays after that. If that's not working, if you're not even putting your best running back in pure contact situation in Roshan Johnson, and you're putting Khalil Herbert, which granted on the Wildcat he got you 2 extra yards and got you to that point, cool. But if you know you need a very, very tough 1 yard to get to the goal line, you put that one guy that's been actually running pretty hard up the middle in Roshan Johnson to get you that 1 yard. If I, who has never played a single snap in football history, know that, then why the fuck the guys that actually do this professionally doesn't know that or doesn't understand that? And we could talk about everything over and over and over again throughout this whole entire. Jose says, "Quick skipping on my comments." I'm not. I'm trying to do the show and be a producer at the same damn time. CP says that Swift money could have been used for online. I think I read that. Jose says that that's still a low bar. The low bar that I was talking about earlier about Caleb Williams and the quarterback play for the Chicago Bears. Jose says Shane Waldron's seat is on fire. Eberflus and Poles should both be warned because this online is a huge indictment on Ryan Poles. Now look, I know I just ranted about, I don't know, 5, maybe 10 minutes about the O-line and the Chicago Bears and the offense. Here's where, after me saying all of this, here's where you guys are going to look at me a little bit different, a little bit funny. I don't think anybody's seat should be, I don't think nobody should be fired or getting close to being fired simply because if we're looking at this in a bigger picture and the way how I saw it yesterday, now I'm just ranting right now, but the way how I saw it yesterday is it's only week 3 on a system that everybody's new with a rookie quarterback. And that's the view how am I seeing it. Now I could rant and bitch and talk about, this and that about the Chicago Bears, but bigger picture, guys, this is only week 3 in a new system with a rookie quarterback. A rookie quarterback that from week 1 to week 3 has improved from 93 yards to 100 and some odd yards that he threw last week to 363 this week. So there is improvement on that. Now I get it. I just went all out. But let's be completely honest here, guys. We could rant and we can bitch and we can moan everything. And the only thing that we all could kind of a common ground about this is the fact that the O-line sucks. That's it. And it's up to Shane Waldron to understand and come up with a scheme to help out said Caleb Williams. Now, look, Caleb Williams wasn't great. His number says otherwise. He scored 2 touchdowns. He threw 2 touchdowns. He threw for 363 yards. Bears rookie record. And it's something that we all wanted to see. It's something that I want to see. And to be completely honest with you, that's what I wanted to see in the first place. And I got that yesterday. And I did. Even though the Bears lost, I was like, okay, I saw improvement in Caleb Williams, which should be the most important thing in this Bears season, that Caleb Williams just looks better and better and better and better every week. Is he gonna hit a game or two where he hits the rookie wall? Of course, because this is his first time in the NFL. So I'm not saying I'm panicking. I am saying though it's a little worrisome that this offense just doesn't look complete. This offensive line doesn't look like a unit. Like there's some type of togetherness there. Whether if it's Nate Davis that doesn't want to play, whether if it's Tevin Jenkins playing out of position, whether if it's Ryan Bates not being there, whether if it's whatever you guys want to talk about, whatever you guys want to say, just know that at the end of the day, that this is just week 3 with a new system and a new scheme, guys. And yes, we've done the meathead conversation of the records, which is the part of the meatheadiness conversation of all time with anybody's football team. And we all picked the Bears to beat the Colts week 3. The fact that they're 1-2 and that they've been looking like this is the reason why most of us feeling frustrated. Like I didn't come out frustrated. I think I was more frustrated talking about the Bears right now than I was the Bears watching the Bears game yesterday, because again, I was emotionally detached because of the Arsenal Man City game. Again, it's not that I don't care about the Chicago Bears. It's not that I don't care about nothing. It's just that my soccer team played the most intense game for like 47 minutes, and my sports energy was drained from then on out. All right, let's go back to the comments so you guys can stop hearing me up for a bit. A la verga, Caesar. What's up, Caesar? Fuck the coaches and the O line. They get paid to play. They play hard for any respectable coach. 100%, 110%. CP says Eberflus looks lost out there. If you wanted to keep him fine, move him to defensive coordinator, but he has no business being a head coach. It is embarrassing. 100%. 100%. It is. But if you let Eberflus go, you're not going to downgrade him. You let him go, he's going to get fired. Simple as that. He says, Jose, where are you? CP, daddy duties. That's a conversation between them. I don't know why I read that. Jaden's in a new system, and he looks pretty damn good to me. Okay. And it's a system. See, I see what you're doing there, CP, and I get that, but it's also a system to where that head coach was already there established, right? The offensive coordinator, I think, was already there waiting to happen. Now, the Washington Redskins, though, they do have an offensive line. And an offensive line is everything for any quarterback. Let's be quite honest here. And they have a decent offensive line. And we're going to see them, I think, in like 3 or 4 weeks. We'll see from then. But honestly, guys, it's nothing that anybody should be worried about. What is it? Kingsbury? Is it Kingsbury? That's the OC. I think that's who it is. He's a quarterback's guru, I guess you can say. That's what they call him nowadays, right? A quarterback guru. So he understands to put a quarterback in the right position. Now, when we got Shane Waldron, we all said, oh, the one thing that I think we all kind of forgotten or kind of should have remembered was the fact that Shane Waldron worked with Geno Smith, who already had NFL experience, whether if it was good or bad. He had an NFL experience quarterback back there. So maybe it looked good for him, right? I think I was listening to one of the sports radio shows. I'm not sure which one it was that was saying that the commentator for the Seattle Seahawks, the game-by-game broadcaster, was saying that Shane Waldron, he wasn't too high on him because the running game wasn't that good in Seattle. And now we can see that we can understand why. Now, he resurrected Geno Smith's career. Granted, that's great. But he's working with a rookie quarterback. And I get it. Not all rookies work the same, right? Jaden Daniels is having a great time here. But, again, he has an offensive line that he's working with. And I think, again, that's something that, A, that's already been established there. But, B, there's not a lot of moving parts for the offensive line in Washington there. My boy Jesus, what's up, boy? He said, and they have lost by 1 touchdown or less. And that's 100% true. Let's also look up at the wins and the 2 losses. The Bears were always in a 1-possession game. And that's true. And that's a lot. That's a lot to say, good and bad. Because you can say they're there to, the game is there for them to win. Just like the game is also there for them to lose, or if you want to look at it in a more negative type of, it's also that the teams are giving the Bears the opportunity to beat them, and they're not taking full advantage of it. Whatever route you want to take whatever route, but it's true. The Bears have only lost by 1 possession and lost by 1 possession in both games and won it by 1. So it's like the Bears are there. It's the small things too as well. This week, the jumping off sides after getting the stop on 3rd down that gave the Colts the other play to Jonathan Taylor's a long run for the touchdown. That's one. Last week was what? I'm trying to remember what was last week. Obviously, it's the offense not scoring a touchdown, but I think, was it a pick? I think it was one of Caleb's pick that kind of threw the game away too as well. So it's like simple errors for the Chicago Bears that if it was just cleaned up just a tad little bit, The Bears could have easily also been 3-0, and yet we were just all worried about the same thing, but like a worry 3-0. You know what I mean? And I know I'm stretching here, ladies and gentlemen. I get that. I know I'm stretching. I'm stretching it, and I get it. But you also got to put into perspective that the Bears are also right there in every single game. There has not been a blown out yet. This defense has been amazing, has been spectacular since the start of the season. It's only been 3 weeks, but the Chicago Bears, like Jesus says here, they've been in every game, win or lose. Maybe we should have went with Cliff Kingsbury. Yeah, that's the offensive coordinator for the Commanders. Yeah, I mean, someone younger and can understand, kind of be right there with what's his name, with Caleb Williams. See, it's frustrating seeing the talent on paper, but it can't be for some reason shown on game day. No, 100%. See, and I think this is the most frustrating part. Obviously, I think today I've shown a little bit more of my frustration than I was yesterday, and I showed it in the first 15 minutes of the show. And everybody else that's been on here too as well. Like everybody has the same frustration. We've all had the same frustrating comment, talk, whatever the case may be, for the last 10, 15 years about the Chicago Bears on the offensive line. And I think this is like the first, and I feel like everybody's a little bit more frustrated because of everybody's high expectations that they had for the Chicago Bears and for Caleb Williams and for this team in general. And understandably so. When has the Bears had an opportunity to draft a Heisman winning quarterback? He's a year removed. I get that. But when was the last time the Bears were even in conversation to even get one of those? And I think that's what it was. The hype around Caleb Williams, him being this quarterback, winning the Heisman winning quarterback, off platform plays, doing these amazing things at USC, not because he did it because that's how he is, because he had to, because of how bad his team was offensively on the offensive line, what he had to do to get those games for USC to get there. But it just see, Caesar, you're right. It doesn't make sense. How are we not literally putting all of this together for it to be somewhat a little bit? I mean, just a little bit better. Just a little bit tidying up. And for me, it goes back from not playing the preseason. I've said this so many times for the last 5 weeks. And it makes a difference because we still haven't had a red zone touchdown, guys. We haven't. We've been struggling to score in the red. Guys, we've only scored what? This time was what? 3 touchdowns in the last 4 games or something? In the last 3 games? A touchdown a game? If that. It shouldn't be like that. We should be scoring at will. Jose goes, all right. If I may, positively, I agree that Caleb's game, with all the dismay around him, has been impressive, which makes me feel optimistic. Not to mention, we've been in every game, so we could easily 3-0. But just what I said. Tony, what's up, my guy? Coaching. Look at Washington right now. The kid looks good. No, 100%. Because of our defense. Yep. I'm just getting to this. The coaching staff in Pittsburgh created a game plan for Fields to be. When you have Mike Tomlin, who's been in the game for so long and understands what I mean, and he's probably coaching for his life right now too as well. Let's be completely honest. It's not really been that successful ever since Big Ben has left Pittsburgh, Tony. But also at the same time, it's Mike Tomlin. And you're right. He probably has a say in almost everything that goes on offense and on defense too as well. So for Justin to look is looking successful, and I root for the kid, and I hope the kid plays good. And at this point, we got a 4th round pick instead of a 6th round pick from Justin Fields going to Pittsburgh. Like, I do wish him the best, but let's it's Mike Tomlin with a decent offensive line too as well, which is everything. And he makes this team just a little bit more dangerous with his running abilities, which he scored a touchdown yesterday. Josh on the chat says, mute Cesar Garcia. Nah, Cesar's everything in the show right now. But yes, the Bears coaching staff really needs to step it up more. I did like that they made up some changes in their O-line yesterday's game, but it's still not enough. It's changes that they made that it's not even for good nor for bad. If that makes any sense. It's not for good nor for bad. It's just a change simply because it's a needed change, a must needed change. And it's just one of those situations to where it's what else can you do? Right now, the Chicago Bears in this situation, ladies and gentlemen, is like it's wet paper and they're throwing it on the wall and see what sticks. That's the Bears offensive line situation that we have at this moment. And it's frustrating simply because we've we've we finally, and I'm mentioning this again, we're finally having a quarterback that is actually good enough to take us to the next level with this team that we already have. And it's pretty alarming. And I go back to what Jose says up here. That I didn't really get to go into a little bit, but he says Shane Waldron's seat is on, which no, it's the last part. Eberflus and Poe's seat should be warm because his offensive line is a huge indictment on Poe's. Now look, Ryan Poe's gave himself another opportunity to hire another head coach. That's for damn sure. With the team that he's already built right now in this current day. Now, it's not the greatest. It's not the best. It's not the championship caliber team that should be competing at this moment. But let's just think about it. Look where we were 3 years ago, 2 years ago at that. And the shit show that was the Chicago Bears losing 14 straight games in a row. To where the Chicago Bears now talent wise is great. The next person that should step up with this talent is Matt Eberflus. And Eberflus looks like he gets everything out of this team. It's just it just feels like it's just not enough. Because let's think about it now in this grand scheme of things, everybody. And the fact of the matter is the Bears are right now looking like the worst team in the NFC North. Yeah, after the high praise that I can't say we because I wasn't part of the we. But after the high praise that everybody was talking about the Chicago Bears this offseason, we're talking about the Chicago Bears being the second best team because the Packers and Jordan Love. We don't know what Jordan Love is going to be like. The Minnesota Vikings were already just claimed them to be the worst team in the NFC North. They are now the best team in the NFC North and they're now 3-0. The Detroit Lions are the Detroit Lions. They were in the NFC title game last year. We're being in a situation right now where the Chicago Bears are the worst team in the NFC North. And it should not be a surprise. It should not be a shocker. And it's not because of the talent. It's literally because the coaching has not given us that opportunity to be successful in the first 3 games of the season. There's a mishap, a coaching mishap so far in these first 3 weeks. From throwing the wrong challenges to calling a timeout after a touchdown and not getting the field goal and 2-point conversion right. From making a wide receiver who's like 5'11", who's as tall as me and is as skinny as my flat screen TV that I have right in front of me, blocking a dude who's the size of me but with muscles. Like, make that scheme make sense, guys. Like, I that's what I don't understand at the moment. Like, the coaching has been scheming this team wrong from Caleb Williams' first game to whatever the case may be. The defense has been, and the defense goes to credit to Matt Eberflus. He's a defensive coach. But let's be completely honest. Everything else afterwards has been a stressful headache for everybody else. But mind you, guys, it's only 3 weeks in the new system, and you guys can look at any other quarterbacks right now. And to me, I think that's what makes everybody mad at this moment. The fact that you probably see every other quarterback rookie from all the other teams looking as successful out there, and ours is not looking that great. And I get that. But all we're just doing is building a team to get it right. Eventually, to get it right, we got the right quarterback. He has the right teams around, right pieces around him. Sometimes it takes longer for one team to become successful than the others. Guys, we have the easiest first half schedule so far. And yes, I know the Bears are 1-2, and the Bears have the opportunity to be 3-0. The Bears had the opportunity to win every single game for the first 3 games of the season. It does get easier. I mean, right now, Jacksonville is getting blown out by the Bills. Granted, that's a whole different juggernaut in Buffalo, but it's a winnable game. The Commanders are beating the Bengals right now, which the game looked a lot more easier on paper. It doesn't look as easy now. You still have the Rams that's depleted, but they actually won their game yesterday and on a comeback fashion. So just as winnable as those games are, they're also, the Bears could also lose them too as well. And now we're having the same conversations all over again. So what we got? Let me go back over here on the comment section. Josh says the chemistry with Caleb and Rome has clicked fast, and also the accuracy of Caleb needs to get fixed so that those catches can be completed instead of incomplete. 100%, I agree with you on that one, Josh. I think Caleb finally had a pass completed over 20 yards for the first time yesterday. But yeah, no, and it's not even that, Josh. There's also the timing that he gets in the pocket, and the timing that he's reading his wide receivers to get there. I mean, look, it's a little bit of everything. The timing is off of everything, Josh, at the moment, and you got to understand that too. Everybody's getting used to everybody right now, and I know that it's like, oh, they're professional, they should have. But again, for me, what I say, it goes back to preseason. They should have played more snaps. They should have played more games. Caesar, bring 2 pieces for the O-line, and I bet. Let me speak English. Bring 2 pieces for the O-line, and I bet it's a night and day difference. 100%, 100%. And I rose this question before the start of the season. And I told Jose while we were here doing the show, as you guys are listening to the JCA Sports Podcast here or watching the JCA Sports Podcast on Facebook and on YouTube, guys, make sure you follow us on all our social media platforms, Facebook, YouTube, and also on TikTok. Subscribe and like our videos and share our shows too as well. There's a question that I told Jose there, and I think I have it right here with me, guys. And I'm gonna tell you guys right now. Where is it at? Where is it at? Is it this one or this one? But anyways, the question went like, would the Bears trade more for a defensive player or an offensive player with all the draft picks that they have? And here it goes. Would the Bears make a trade? Would a trade at the deadline for a defensive player or offensive player? The Bears got 11 picks for next season. The Bears have 11 picks for next season. Should the Bears, if the Bears somehow, some way, let's go this hypothetical as the show's about to close in a little bit. If the Bears hypothetically goes and let's just say they win these next 3 games to be 4-2. Let's hypothetically say that the fact that the Bears know they need offensive help and Caleb gets sacked for another 3-4 times like he did yesterday. But he's throwing for, another 300-yard game, or he's throwing for 2 more touchdowns. Like, I'd rather see a stat line from Caleb Williams like I did yesterday, going for 300 yards, 350 plus, 2 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. I'd rather see that every week. I just need the running game to work, because Caleb to throw 50 some odd times, which is great experience for him, by the way, throwing 50 some odd times. It's great experience. At least he's understanding the defense and reading the defense a lot more better, whether if it's man or zone. But 52 times is still ridiculous, even for a veteran quarterback. Like, there has to be a fine balance, and the running game does have to get a little better. But if the Bears somehow, some way win the next 3 or 4 games and become 4-2 or 5-2, hypothetically, right? And they know they just need that one solidified piece in the offensive line. Like, I do believe at the trade deadline that the Bears, and it's as dumb as it sounds, because the offensive line is the most difficult position to understand and reading schemes and understanding the playbook, because they have to be there every single time. The Bears need to do something to upgrade their offensive line. They have to. They need to. It's a must. And I get it. It's hard, and it doesn't help that the Bears get their bye in a couple weeks, like in week 6 or 7. But it just, if it's there, if it's just there, the Bears just might have to do it. They just might have to, because the second half of the season doesn't get a lot more easier, guys. Jose said that's why I said warm, because yes, he's done great with getting more in Caleb. But the coaching staff is your coaching staff. You choose to keep Flus and bring in Shane. No, 100%. And that's all Pose. Pose decided to do that. Pose decided to give Eberflus another opportunity to show his his character, his build. I mean, they played for him well last season or to end the season. I think the way that the Bears ended the season last year was the reason why Matt Eberflus ended up keeping his job. If not, whatever, Jim Harbaugh should have been there. He should have been our head coach. If not, I don't know, Cliff Kingsbury, for all I care, what CP said earlier, should have been our head coach. Somebody else, Ben Johnson from the Lions. It doesn't matter. The point is that we're now in a situation to where it's mainly how worried are you as a Bears fan about everything else, Again, I'm just going to say this. I'm fine. I'm okay. I'm good. It's only week 3. Should it be better? 100%. Can it get way worse? Hell yeah, it can. We've seen it before. We've definitely seen it before where this offensive line is worse. Hell, look at Justin Fields a couple years ago. Why he had to rush for over 1,000 yards and almost broke a Lamar Jackson's record, right? And I do wish it does. I do wish that somehow, some way, it gets better between now and our bye. Caleb has the talent, guys. And if you can't see that, and or you haven't allowed yourself to feel that, then I don't know what to tell you. But as a passer, Caleb is 10 times better than Justin. As an athlete, Justin's 10 times better than Caleb. But as a quarterback, as a passer, what you need to do in this game, oh, hell yeah. Caleb is better, and you can tell he's better, and he can play that position a lot better than Justin ever did here. Worry list for Caesar. Number 1 is offensive line. And number 2, it is coaching. I mean, yeah, no, you're absolutely right, Caesar. I think that's probably the way you got to go with the worry line for everybody else. Like, where is your worried line for the Bears? And, where do you rank them? How do you rank them? Do you rank, like you said, O-line coaching, Caleb, O-line, Caleb, coaching, O-line, Caleb, however you want to phrase it, or whatever other situations you have that's not Caleb Williams. I'm just saying those 3 because, I mean, I just wanted to. But yeah, no, guys, it's only week 3. Do we give it time? Should we be more patient? Sure. I'm patient. I'm okay. I mean, I do hope it gets better. It should get better. The more you play together, the better you're supposed to get. The more you practice, the more better you're supposed to get. I get that, but let's be completely honest. The way we should literally look at this and not be too comfortable and actually, if there's a panic button, our hands are right above that button. For some Bears fans, right above that button, ready to cut it together, ready to cut loose. Caesar says Caleb would get it together once we can get those 2 fixed. But no matter what, bear the fuck down. 100% Caesar, bear down. That's how it's supposed to be. Bear down. I wouldn't do this show just a good service if I don't play this toxic ass game of what Jose and John wanted to bring in between for not forgetting our ex or forgetting our ex or whatever they want to fucking call it. I don't know. With Justin Fields and Caleb Williams. I feel like I must, even though I'm the one that didn't want to do it, but I have to. I know Justin Fields ran for a touchdown yesterday. I know he threw one for a touchdown yesterday too as well. That's 2 touchdowns, and I know he threw for like 200 and some yards. Compared to Caleb Williams throwing for 363 with 2 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. Justin, for sure. I mean, Justin Fields is 3-0. Caleb is 1-2. Knowing how the guys think, they would give this one to Justin Fields simply because he won. He ran for one and he threw for one. I am not that type of guy. I would rather have Caleb's numbers than Justin's numbers any day of the week, especially the passing yards, because this is a passing league, guys. This is a passing league. This is what the league is transitioning to. Yes, you need the running game to help you win games too as well. Justin is part of that running game in Pittsburgh, but Justin, like I said, he ran for one. He ran for a touchdown. He threw for 250 some odd yards, 245 yards. I got it right here right now. 25 for 32, 245 yards, one touchdown, one interception, and one rushing touchdown for a yard. Um, those two will pick Justin. I will pick Caleb in this matter. I think Caleb had the better game with the better stats. It didn't look pretty, but I'd rather have these stats than a 245, a touchdown, and an interception. I'd rather get the 2 for 2. Because it's the way to go. It's the move. And obviously those interceptions will come down, those touchdowns will come up. The offensive line help should be coming pretty soon. Hopefully soon. Jose said I picked Caleb. Wow, I'm surprised. That's a shocker right there. Um, yeah, I'm surprised. I know John will go Justin. That's for sure. And we'll probably pick Justin, even though Justin will lose every single game. Even if Justin loses the game, I think he'll still pick Justin for sure. But this was fun. Hopefully next week the guys will join me, and we might have a special show on Friday for you guys with the gang all together. Who knows? Maybe. Make sure you guys follow us on all our social media platforms on Facebook, YouTube, and also on TikTok, where we will go live eventually on TikTok when the guys are all here. So I appreciate you guys. Caesar, I appreciate you. Jose, thank you for being on the comments. CP, Tony, Jesus, who else? Josh also on here. My boy Juice and Uncle Day Day. I miss you, my guys. I miss you. Deontay, hopefully you're doing well, my guy. Juice, I miss you too. I miss all you guys. All you guys are my friends. Y'all are my friends. That's all I gotta say. This has been great. It was a great show. I was riding solo myself. But it's okay. The show had to be done. The guys will be back soon. I will be here. The JCA Sports Podcast on Facebook and on YouTube. Like I said, make sure you guys follow and subscribe to all our channels. For Eric Avila, this has been the JCA Sports Podcast. I will see you guys this week. Maybe. I will see you guys next week. Maybe. And I'm trying to find this outro for what Jose said because I played the wrong one. Oh, I think I found it. Oh, no, this is JCA one. Whatever it is, guys. Thank you very much. We appreciate you guys. We'll see you guys next week. Peace.
You're now listening to the JCA Sports Podcast on Spotify and